41-year-old Tyrita Julius was born on June 6, 1974, and lived in Linden, New Jersey. She had a 19-year-old son named Daunting and a 15-year-old daughter named Chanel. She was described as exceptionally positive, selfless, and caring when it comes to her friends and family. She would always be behind the camera taking silly photos and videos of group gatherings and loved to plan events and host. She worked as a patient scheduler at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick. Much of her salary was spent on her son's tuition at Bloomfield College. Tyrita was an incredible mother who was very involved in the lives of her children and loved by everyone. At 7:16 p.m., Linden police were called to 913 Middlesex Street for a reported shooting that occurred. Upon arrival, police found Tyrita slumped behind the wheel of her car and crashed into a utility pole near her home. She was shot 8 times. Her 16-year-old daughter was seated in the front passenger seat and also endured a non-fatal gunshot wound. Witnesses said they saw a man approach her vehicle, exchange words with her daughter in the passenger seat, and then pulled a gun and unloaded it in the car. Tyrita tried to speed away but crashed. They were initially on their way to watch her son's basketball game, but Tyrita miraculously survived the 8 bullets. She spent 39 days in the hospital recovering from her injuries. According to her friends, they said her family was shaken, depressed, and worried, but Tyrita remained positive. Whenever people cried while visiting her, she told them, "I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm able to walk and function." On the day of her release from the hospital, she went to her little brother's football game. She still suffered from arm and leg injuries, and days later she hosted an appreciation dinner to thank all those who supported her. After not hearing from her daughter, Tyrita's mother, Queen Julius, called the police to report Tyrita missing. She told authorities that her daughter was spending time with a female friend in Tinton Falls the day before, but failed to return home that evening. She also told police that her daughter was dropped off at the Long Branch train station at 7 p.m. by her friend. Linden police contacted the Union County's prosecutor's office, and from there, an investigation on Tyrita's whereabouts ensued. Police were trying to figure out where she could be. They also still had the shooting report from 4 months prior and wondered if that could have been connected. Who had it out for Tyrita? The investigation involved multiple agencies, but it would take another 5 months for police to receive a break in the case. As part of their investigative efforts, police searched a home located on Jolene Avenue in Long Branch, New Jersey. To their horror, they discovered a body buried beneath 3 feet of soil in the backyard, wrapped in 2 garbage bags with an electrical cord around their neck. The body was soon identified as Tyrita Julius, and the home belonged to Andre Harris. "33-year-old Andre Harris was a personal trainer and former baseball standout. He was the head coach of the New Jersey Thunder girls travel softball team in 2011 until he was charged with credit card fraud for using a stolen Discover credit card to pay some $10,000 to hotels for team rooms, as well as T-Mobile payments. Aside from this incident, he claimed to be a spiritual Christian who frequented the church. Upon finding and interviewing Andre, he told the full story. To investigator surprise, he also admitted to being Tyrita's shooter on Thanksgiving Day. He denied ever murdering Tyrita, but admitted to having a hand in hiding her body. The real murderer was her girlfriend, 38-year-old Jennifer Sweeney. Not much information is available on Jennifer, but she was employed as a Comcast executive and previously worked as a teacher's assistant and 911 operator for Monmouth County Sheriff's Office. Andre and Jennifer met during their freshman year at Monmouth Regional High School and maintained a loose friendship that faded. However, years later, they connected again when he was in the midst of a crumbling marriage. He said she messaged him on social media saying she saw him with another woman at Burger King, and this message would only be the beginning of her threats. He told investigators that Jennifer and Tyrita actually met while in a local motorcycle chapter called the Rough Riders. After a few bike nights at TGI Fridays, they developed a romantic relationship. Tyrita's family remembers Jennifer because she would attend their family functions, but several of her family members found Jennifer to be a bit off. Tyrita's cousin said, "When I met her, she seemed strange. She wasn't sociable, she was quiet. I'm the type to walk into a room and say, 'Hey, how you doing?' to everyone. And if someone doesn't really respond, I think, 'What's your excuse?'" But in 2015, Jennifer began suspecting Tyrita of cheating. Allegedly, she began seeing a man in the motorcycle club. Soon enough, Jennifer insinuated to Andre that she wanted Tyrita gone, and he was going to help her. On a random day in November, Andre recalled taking his son to Long Branch Middle School when he noticed a sticky note stuck to the dashboard of his Chevrolet Traverse with an arrow pointing toward the glove compartment. And when he opened the glove compartment, a gun fell out. He added that Jennifer threatened to kill his son if he did not kill Tyrita. She later showed him pictures on her phone of his son playing sports when she showed him a picture of Tyrita. Fearing for his life and his son's, he unloaded the gun in the car that day. After the shooting, Jennifer told him she was going to play her part by going to the hospital and caring for Tyrita in an attempt to rekindle their relationship. But her survival sadly did not change the relationship or Jennifer's mind, and this time, she would take advantage of her physical conditions to finish the job. When she went missing, Tyrita's family said she seemed to help in the search for her briefly before becoming distant. They especially became suspicious of her when her story about her last moments with Tyrita began to change. Tyrita's brother said, one day she said one thing, that she dropped her off at the train station to come home. The next day, it was that she never went to the train station. She helped with the search the first day, and ever since then hasn't been around, which raised a whole lot of suspicions. This happened in your neighborhood. Why aren't you helping more? Why aren't you supporting the family? It starts to make you think. The day before Tyrita's mother reported her missing, Andre said Jennifer showed up in his driveway with Tyrita in the passenger seat of the car. However, she was already dead with a cord wrapped around her neck. The time was 7:02 p.m., the exact time Jennifer told Tyrita's family and later police that she dropped her off at the train station. On this visit, Jennifer carried a gun and threatened to use it on Andre if he did not assist her in hiding the body. Together, they hid the body in a shallow grave in his backyard. Upon speaking with Jennifer, investigators found that she appeared very cooperative as she was when they spoke with her after the November shooting. She expressed shock at Tyrita's murder and said they were close friends, but they were not buying it. On August 17th, Jennifer and Andre were arrested and charged with the murder of Tyrita Julius. A few days after the discovery, Tyrita's family organized a food sale in a parking lot. Volunteers dished out chicken wings and coleslaw from underneath tents in efforts to raise money for her funeral costs, and any remaining costs went towards her 2 children. A funeral service took place, and the Rough Riders conducted a memorial ride to commemorate Tyrita's life. As part of the plea deal, Andre confessed to being the hitman hired by Jennifer. In court, he testified that Jennifer and Tyrita were in a relationship and believed Jennifer killed Tyrita out of jealousy, believing she was cheating on her. He testified that she said, "If I can't have her, no one can," to herself as they both stood in front of Tyrita's body. He believed that Jennifer was psychotic. Jennifer's defense insisted the two women were just close friends. They said Jennifer was a college graduate, lived at home with her mother, and worked at Comcast as an account executive with no prior criminal record. Instead, they contended Andre was the actual killer. They said he was a powerfully built man who could leg press 1,200 pounds compared to an 100-pound Jennifer, who alone could not have strangled 190-pound Tyrita. She was also by Tyrita's bedside in the hospital while she recovered from the Thanksgiving attack. However, the prosecution claimed this was a calculated move to throw investigators off. Her defense said Jennifer loved Tyrita very much and maintained her innocence throughout the trial. However, Tyrita's family members sat with Team Tyrita shirts, with one screaming, "Rotten hell" to Jennifer from the audience. Her mother said in her statement, "In her last hours, she was faced with betrayal, brutality, and terror at the hands of someone she trusted. Her life and future were stolen by a thief disguised as a friend." Jennifer Sweeney was convicted of first-degree murder, first-degree conspiracy to commit murder, first-degree attempted murder, 3 related weapon offenses, second-degree desecration of human remains, and fourth-degree tampering with evidence. She pleaded not guilty. Andre Harris was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, a weapon offense, and disturbing human remains for burying Tyrita's body. He pleaded guilty. They were both found guilty in September 2021 after a month-long trial. The Monmouth County judge sentenced Jennifer to 75 years in prison for murdering Tyrita and another 20 years for the attempt on her life, totaling 95 years. She will not be eligible for parole until she is more than 100 years old. The prosecutor stated, "This defendant's actions were callous, calculated, and vicious, and ended the life of a woman beloved by her family and friends. I sincerely thank the detectives and assistant prosecutors who worked so diligently over so many years to see that justice was done in this case." Andre Harris was sentenced to 16 years in prison. As part of his plea agreement, he will serve 85% of that term before he is eligible for parole. During his sentencing, he offered an apology to Tyrita's family for his part in the crimes.
You can speak. You can stand up and say whatever you want.
It's been 69 months that I've been able to, over 69 months because it happened prior to me being locked up, to actually be able to speak to you. I know what it's like to lose somebody. Sorry, bear with me, it's hard. I didn't know Tyrita in any way, shape, or form. But everything I read about her through my discovery, it seemed like she was a great person. I'm so sorry for what I've done that caused you pain. I don't know what to say. There's not words that I can actually say to you to bring back her in any way, shape, or form. I apologize. I'm asking for you to forgive me. No matter what happens in here in court, I'm asking for your forgiveness. I tried my best to stand in the end, which was really hard. No matter what I went through, being locked up, I was going to stand regardless. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. To prosecutors, no one believed me. And I think you thought it was a joke. And it was hard for me. I mean, it was times when you spoke to me that I actually broke down. And I say thank you for that, because I never got a chance to really tell what was going on. I didn't know who to trust. And it was really hard for me. And so I thank you for part of my growth and for being able to get on the stand, to be able to do that, knowing what I was up against. To my family, so sorry for all that I put you through in terms of having to come here to court to my son. It means everything to me, so I know what you're going through. I haven't been without my kid in so long, and I know what it's like. Mama, I'm sorry, Mom. You raised a son, God-fearing man, and I failed you, and I'm sorry. I ask for everybody in this courtroom to forgive me.
Just remain standing.
No, Mr. Ashton, yes.
I gotta go. This guy's so...
Tyrita's family and friends still struggle with why Jennifer would have ever wanted to kill her. Tyrita's cousin said, "It was hard. A lot of anger set in. She considered you a friend. She brought you to her family. You broke bread with us. And this is what you do." Tyrita will always be remembered for being an exceptional and thoughtful friend and mother. In 2016, the Bloomfield University Bengals basketball team dedicated their season to Tyrita, Dante's late mother, and won the CACC men's basketball title. Her GoFundMe is linked below, as I encourage you all to donate in support of the Julius family. May they receive much ease and strength in their healing journeys, and praying for the success and healing of Tyrita's 2 children. May Tyrita rest peacefully in paradise, and thank you all for watching.